Hello and welcome to Steve Knows. This time it's my Robo Recall review and I finally cracked and bought it after you guys told me how epic it was. This is going to be a generic game review. I played it on both systems, as in the Quest and the Rift S, so I will be talking about both. And I'll say now, the Quest has had a huge graphical downgrade, but for what it is, it looks good for the system. It still plays fantastic, has all the bells and whistles of the original. I'll put a comparison video at the end so you guys can check it out. So, Robo Recall, coming from Epic Games, made on the Unreal Engine 4, which if you're familiar with it, frequently delivers high quality content. It's a great engine. This game was released in March 2017 and was a release title for the Oculus Quest back in May. It had received a nomination for the Best VR Game and Game of the Year, with a user rating of 95% and 4.8 out of 5, with 8.3k ratings on PCVR, or 4.4 with 940 ratings on the Quest, so I feel like it's safe to say it's got a pretty good reputation, but I still don't know what I was getting myself in for. The story of the game is you are a Robo Recaller, hence the name, called Agent 34. Wait, is this Hitman? You are an employee of the Robo Ready Corporation who have created this vast array of robots, but unfortunately the robots have a defect and they start terrorizing the city, and as the Recaller, it's up to you to decommission these sons of bits. And it's up to you to find out why these robots have become defective, and obviously you do that by destroying everything. The title is an FPS shooter, which we see all the time in VR. It's kind of the default. This has more of an arcadey feel to it, like Devil May Cry, when you get locked in an area and you have to kill everything around you trying to get the highest combos. It reminded me of a VR version of a classic retro arcade game that you would just play over and over again on repeat to get the highest score. This game made clear that it knew what it was trying to be, what its purpose was, and it nailed it. You start off in the hub area, which is an apartment that I wish I had. Here you can pick up coffee mugs with no coffee in, throw paper balls into the bin, throw trophies, just fester. This acts as your main hub where you can practice your aiming skills on the shooting range, mod the game, customize your weapons, or select what mission you want to do next. There isn't much going on here. It's simply a hub zone that you return to after each level, which is a bit annoying as it breaks the fluidity, but if you're wanting to unattach unlockables to your guns or change your configuration, it could be handy, especially if you want to change up your playstyle midway through playing. So there are 3 sectors around the city. There's the city center, the old town, and the rooftops, with 3 areas in each with which your game takes place. The scale of these locations are like nothing you've seen before. They make you feel like you could be in the heart of New York City, and I mean this for both systems as well. Wherever you look around, there is more city. I was really impressed by the visuals in this game. Everything was so bright, so clear, the reflections were amazing. There was a level of detail that I hadn't seen before. All around you, such as the debris, or the brickwork on the buildings, or the window ledges, the architecture on it. You could see all of it. This is one of the most impressive games I've seen in virtual reality. But on the Quest, it was nowhere near as buttery. There were way less reflections, but it did manage to keep the scale of the game and looked so good considering what it's running on. And it also managed to keep up the same mechanics and the same fast-paced action. A downside to this game though is, I say it all the time, is teleportation. There's no free roam locomotion, which would have taken this game to new heights. Being able to sprint around or towards these bots would have increased the pace of the game. It took some getting used to teleporting, because if you teleported and you weren't looking in a certain direction, once you teleport, your orientation would be off. There's also a delay in the teleportation. Your arc glides to the location that you want to travel to, and you then have to choose which way you want to face by moving your analog stick in a direction. But once I got used to this, I had no issues. It didn't get in the way of me playing at all. It stopped bothering me. In this game, you have a bunch of weapons that you can have on you at once. You have 2 heavies on your back or 2 light on your hips. This can be a mix and match situation, so with pistols that shoot really rapidly, or the revolver, which has more power but with a reduced fire rate and ammunition, or the heavies, which are shotguns, which don't have much range, but when you're close up you get 3 powerful shots that cause some serious damage, or the energy rifle that is pretty interesting as it increases its fire rate the longer you're shooting for, and the bullets can deflect round corners or bounce off the floor. There's no reloading in this game. What you have to do is either let your weapon replenish its stock in the holster, or throw your weapon at an enemy, which causes it to reload its ammo. All of these guns, as you gain experience with them, can be upgraded to increase the weapon's ammo capacity, add a laser sight, self-destruct if you throw the weapon at an enemy, reduce the shotgun's spread, add a reflex sight. There's a myriad of options here that are different per weapon. This helps you feel like you're actually progressing, so when you actually improve, your playstyle can also improve as you get assisted perks. So the game itself feels so good. The freedom that you have to kill these robots and the many ways of playing the game that you have, you just keep discovering as you play. The bots that come running at you with such fluid motion, it looks amazing. You pull out your guns and blast them away, taking off their heads or body parts. I can't stress it enough how fun this game is. To kill enemies, you can grab them, pull off their limbs one by one. You can grab them, then take a gun to their head and take their face off. You can use their bodies as a shield with oncoming fire. That body you can then throw at the other robots if an enemy is shooting with a pistol or a shotgun or an RPG. Rocket propelled grenade. I've been playing too many games. You can grab the projectile coming towards you and fire it right back at them. And this gives you crazy points as well. You can juggle the enemies in the air if you take them off their feet and you just keep shooting them for as long as you possibly can. They'll just stay up in the sky. The spider bots, you can pick them up, throw them at enemies and they will explode on impact. There's also these bots that will act like a slingshot and fire themselves into enemies. It's so brilliant trying to combine all these potential kills in combinations with each other so you become the most fluid, badass Robo Recaller there is. It's so much fun. There are also different enemy types that you should be aware of that can cause you some problems, and you'll have to adjust your playstyle in order to combat them. Like the shield bot, you either have to shoot their shield down or get behind them in order to deal damage. I like teleporting behind them, whipping out dual shotguns and just unloading as fast as you can. As well as just killing bots, you do get objectives as well, such as killing a certain amount of bots within a time limit or throwing a certain amount of bodies into this blue circle cyclone or protecting an area of the map. If you're a keen player and you want replayability, this game has it as well, which is rare in VR titles, so thank you guys. There are challenge objectives for each level, donated by stars, before you start each mission. They can be things like earning a certain amount of points in each game, or not firing your gun at all, not once. Some issues I had, as I said before, the locomotion bothers me. It's not something I like in VR titles, teleporting. Also, I would have liked the game to have forced me to use certain weapons when facing certain enemies, because you can complete the entire game just using the pistol if you wanted. Just something that will add a bit more strategy into the game instead of just slaughtering robots. There was something on the wall in the game that I loved though that said servers, not servants. So meta. Genius. Oh, the music I am a fan of. It's full of fast-paced, slick riffed guitar solos that add to the arcade feel of this title. As soon as you start the game, you get the "Are you ready?" with some guitar solos going crazy. I do enjoy the music in this game if you couldn't tell. The audio was great too, no issues there. If a robot was to my left, I'd hear them clearly enough, so it was easy to detect whether robots were behind you, to the left of you, anywhere on the map just by your audio. So overall, this game has been so much fun. It's actually made me go, wow, this is VR. I got extremely hyped playing this title. I think it's worth the price, especially because this is a cross-buy title as well. So in the future, if some of you don't have PCVR yet, you're going to get an incredibly great game. We need more VR titles like this, but with more improvements, such as different boss battles, not the same boss. Locomotion so I can run around, not teleport. Robo Recall 2 perhaps. So I'm going to give Robo Recall a 9 out of 10. Loved it. I'm going to end this video, but after it ends, there will be a visual comparison of Robo Recall on the Rift S against the Oculus Quest. So thanks for watching Steve Knows Robo Recall review. Please sub and stick around for next time. Happy gaming, guys. Good day.
Agent, more crawlers. Fight your way up the alley.
Make it move.
Move down the street.
It burns! Robot heaven, I see it! The pain of emotion. Unauthorized service detected. Low power. the of me. I was just getting started. It burns power down.
Move to the intersection, Agent 34. Top opponent. Destroy the shield or teleport behind them. Agent, we're teleporting weapons to your back holsters. Reach over your shoulders and grab your new shotgun.
Ow, ow, ow. Service with a smile. A new customer. It burns the screen.
This area needs to be cleared.
Hey buddy, I'm Philip. I'm going to integrate to your environment.
Agent 34, are you receiving transmissions from an AI calling itself Philip? Please disregard anything this AI says. It is an older, erratic model scheduled for shutdown.
She's so sweet on me. Tries to hide it, but I can tell.
RoboReady's crack team of analysts have determined that there is a surge of rogue robots in this hotspot. Please go ahead and recall as many as you can.
3, 2, go! You can do it!
Outflow power.